Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we are continuing our work on replicating Copenhagen Airport here in the game. And our main focus of today's episode will be to continue our work with Concourse C over at Terminal 3, which is where we will have wide-body aircrafts coming in. And that is, of course, what we would like to achieve by the end of this episode. As always, before we get too far into today's episode, if you should end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, since the last episode I've been doing just some minor improvements here and there off camera, but one thing I also did is I signed a bunch of airlines. So for example, Aer Lingus, Aeroflot, Air Europe, Austrian Airlines twice actually. We have now Brussels Airlines, we have EasyJet, Eurowings, Finnair, Vanilla Game Airline, Great Dane, Iberia, Icelandair, KLM, Loganair, LOT Polish Airlines. Obviously, we still have Scandinavian Airlines represented quite a few times, then Sunclass, Swiss, and Wizz Air as well. Most of these airlines have been suggested by you guys. We still have a few airlines that have been suggested that we haven't signed yet, but I will get more into that topic a little bit later in this video. Because first I would like to pick up from where we basically left off last time, and that was basically constructing the luggage system for Concourse C or Terminal 3 basically. But we left one thing out, and that was actually making sure that the outbound luggage is secure, and that we do by adding this scanner. So obviously we need to do that here as well. We already have it over at Terminal 2, but obviously at the moment at least these two baggage systems are completely separate from each other. So we need to make sure that all the luggage that goes out to the aircraft that are leaving the airport will be scanned before going there. Fairly simple system. You just add all the scanners and then of course have this station where they destroy the suspicious luggage. Alright, so the next step we need to take a look at or take care of so that we can achieve our goal of having wide bodies coming into our airport and thereby opening operations at Terminal 3 Concourse C, well, is that we, for example, need some more GSE. We also need to make sure that it is assigned to the right terminal. And then we need to connect up a few things. So while I'm doing that, I'd like to come back to the point of airlines that we have signed and basically mods. I have for a long time had an issue with my game, and that is that I have all these awesome mods of all these airlines, but they just never seem to load into my game, and it's been a mystery why that didn't happen. Luckily, I've been talking with a good friend who is also playing the game. We've been able to help each other out every now and then with stuff when we have been building airports in the game. And the last time we talked, we both struggled with the issue of mods. The basic issue is basically that we have these mods that we've subscribed to, but we don't seem to ever get them in the game. They just don't seem to load into the game. So we started digging, and what came up was that there was discussions on some forums, and especially on the forum specifically for the game, obviously, on Steam, was that there seems to be a limit as to how many mods can be loaded into the game. There were some saying there is no limit, there were some saying there is a limit. Most sources basically stated that the limit would be around 150 mods. Anything above that, and it wouldn't load into the game. And another topic was that if you were subscribing to like mod packs, so for example a pack which has multiple airlines, that would very quickly eat up your quota of 150 mods. Now, I had subscribed to a bunch of these kind of bundles or packs, so I was very quickly becoming aware, okay, perhaps that is the issue why some airlines that I have subscribed to just never seem to load into my game. And this is an issue that has been persisting throughout this season, but if you have followed the previous seasons, you will know that we also struggled with that in some previous seasons where just some airlines never seem to load into the game. Now, My friend actually wrote to the game developers to ask them, is there a limit as to how many mods you can subscribe to, or basically how many mods will load into the game, or is this just fiction? Now, the game developers very quickly answered, and they said there is no limit. The only limitation is actually what your computer can handle. But from the game side, there is practically no limit as to how many mods you are subscribed to and how many mods you're loading into the game. So that's I guess, good news. Now, my computer, and without trying to brag, I would say should fairly easily be able to handle both the game and various mods, but I have been experienced the fact that just for a long time some mods just never seemed to load in. And I think what we basically identified as the core issue were these bundles that seem to kind of block up your game. So after I really got into playing this game and I played for hours and hours, so I've recorded basically this and I think 2 or 3 more episodes ahead of time. I came to the point, okay, I mean, I'm signing all these airlines, and that's great, but there are so many others that I know we should be able to get, and I'm not getting into the game. There is no way around it. I need to do a hard reset. I need to sort through all my mods. I need to make sure that my game doesn't break, so I need to cancel all my contracts, make sure that everything that is mod related is basically removed from the game, and then simply sort through all my mods, make sure that I remove all, or at least most of these mod packs that I have subscribed to basically kind of free up the space in whatever way that is happening. So the basic thing I want to say is that sometime in the near future we will have a hard reset where we are cancelling all the contracts we have right now, and then basically re-signing airlines, but that should mean that we can sign a bunch of airlines that we haven't seen in a long time. The other thing, of course, I want to say is simply that if you have had the same issue where you had this feeling that you had subscribed to mods but they never seem to appear in the game, sort through your mods, especially the mod bundles. Be very cautious about which ones you choose, perhaps unassign some of them or basically remove them from your game and see when other mods start loading in, and then maybe you can sign to them again to see if the game still works or if it breaks it. So that's my top advice for this week, I guess. Alright, so while strictly not necessary to starting operations at the terminal, I am working here on this main lounge for Terminal 3 of Scandinavian Airlines, because, well, we started the work in last episode and I would like to finish it up today. But while we are doing that, one last point about mods, because there have been many great suggestions, and one that has been keep popping up is United Airlines, which is a good suggestion and I would like to sign them as well. But there are 2 things I quickly need to address here. The first thing is that any airline that we are signing, or basically any airline that offers a contract to us, does so if it matches the rating of the airport. At the moment, the rating of the airport is 4 stars, so we are offered contracts up to 4 stars. Anything above that, I think the maximum is 5 stars. Well, we are currently not seeing or not getting any offers of. And mods on their own, they don't really need to have a high rating. Most modders, I guess, give their mods a fairly low rating so that people can have them in the game fairly quickly, but some mods do get very high ratings. And, well, basically the United Airlines mod that I have subscribed to, I think there are a bunch of them, but I would like to have one where it's mainly wide-body aircraft, because that would be the most realistic for a European airport. Well, that is a 5-star rated mod. And that just means that as long as our airport is 4-star rated, we are not getting that offer. So I think that is a really good goal for the series, not just to build a replica of Copenhagen Airport, but trying to also achieve a 5-star rating. I don't think I've ever done that. At least I've never really paid attention to it. So that could be a really awesome thing that we would like to try to achieve before the end of this series. 5-star rating so we can get United Airlines into our airport. But I just wanted to address that, just so you know. I do see your suggestions. If I'm not able to fulfill them immediately, now you know why. It can be something to do, it can have something to do with the rating of the mod, that we're just not able to assign them at the moment. We've had this issue that some mods haven't loaded in, but that is something we are fixing. But now we're also specifically working towards a high rating so that we can sign these airlines. Alright, but enough talk about mods, I promise you, for this episode at least. Let's get back to our main task, and that is of course getting wide bodies in. Now, actually, we haven't had any aircraft coming into Concourse C here at Terminal 3 so far. Now, obviously, there's still loads to do here, but we have, I mean, the main, or the basic infrastructure in place. We have our passport controls, we have our waiting areas at the gates, the boarding desks, we have the luggage system in place, so we are pretty much ready to receive the first aircraft and see how things are going here. Maybe we have missed something, and I guess we will see that very shortly. Alright, so the first aircraft is already arriving. That's an A320, I guess, yeah, from Scandinavian Airlines. So let's just see how that is going. So it's coming into the ramp, the jet bridge is going towards the aircraft. There seems already to be some ramp agents there, that's also good. Alright. Yeah, passengers are leaving, so that works, that's good. We obviously already have passengers waiting already as well. But we are actually waiting for our first wide-body aircraft, which should come in as well any moment now. Alright, to take off first. Oh no, it's already there. Okay, perfect. It has already landed. So that's our very first wide-body here at the airport. So let's just follow it for now, because yeah, we haven't really checked up on how the taxiways work for wide-body aircraft. So that's one thing I've actually done off camera. I've tried to fix up a few things here and there with the taxiways where aircraft maybe have clipped into the buildings and stuff like that. We can't totally avoid it everywhere, but there were a few places where it was easily fixed. But I haven't really been able to test it with wide bodies because this is the first one arriving. So let's see how that is going. I mean, so far no issues, because obviously there are no buildings here it can collide with, but I can already see that it might be a bit tight over here. Not clipping into the building, but basically clipping into a parked aircraft. So yeah, that's probably not gonna work. I mean, yeah, it will work, but it will look a bit weird. So let's just fix that up right away for the next aircraft that will come by here. I mean, we can leave the taxiway as is, because it can just be used by yeah, single aisle aircraft. They can pass there easily, but if we just widen this taxiway and just make a second lane, basically, that would just move a little bit further away from the building, then in future we can just assign that for wide body aircraft, and then it should be far enough away so it doesn't clip into the parked aircraft. Let's see, so we say this taxiway that it's using right now is not allowed to be used by wide bodies. The other one is, yeah, from here it's also not, and this is not. So that way it should stay on the taxiway just above, or the center line just above. Just widen this here as well, just so it looks a bit nicer. Now obviously, well, maybe already will switch over, but let's see. Let's see, although normally these changes don't really apply to aircraft that already are on the ground, but I guess we will see. At least, maybe not with this one, but then with the next one. Let's just check here as well. Alright, so now, yeah, it should be that the aircraft is only going on the taxiway or the center line above. Okay, it doesn't understand it yet here, because it already had basically planned its way, but doesn't matter. For the future that should work. So let's just have our aircraft come in here. Scandinavian Airlines A330. Coming into our wide body stand here. We already have loads of passengers waiting, so that's good. Alright, so it's in the ramp. Let's see how the turnaround goes, because, I mean, that's really it's the biggest aircraft we've had in so far. Let's see if everything works as it should. Are passengers leaving? That's the big question. Yes, they are. Passengers are leaving, so that's the first hurdle. Alright, let's check out the other things. Alright, so after having followed this turnaround closely, everything seems to be working quite okay. Refueling is a bit slow, but we have the largest and quickest fueling trucks, so that's just a game. Maybe we need to buy a few more fueling trucks, maybe that can speed up the refueling, but there's actually one thing, and that is the luggage. Now I can see the luggage, it has been offloaded and it is on its way. Let's see how we are in time. Turnaround, we're still fine. Although, I mean, luggage, yeah, it has been offloaded now. So basically the game is now triggering the loading of the luggage for the next flight. But I can see we have an issue here, and that is the luggage is here. Same goes for the A320 that I think should have left for a long time ago. Luggage is here, but there are no workers. So obviously we have an issue. Alright, so I just looked around a little bit, and well, the issue is fairly simple. There is no staff there because they can't reach this part of the airport. So that should be fairly easily fixable. We just need to add some stairs here from underground, and then staff should be able to reach this part of the terminal. And indeed, oh wonder, as soon as this area is actually reachable for staff will arrive and start working here at the baggage base. So that's good news. Obviously the turnarounds for these two aircraft is messed up, probably unsalvageable, but that doesn't really matter. It was a test run anyway. It just means that for any other aircraft coming in here, it will work, and that's good news because it means Terminal 3 is operational. We still have many things to do, but we will handle that in a future episode. Yeah, but I think that's a good step that we have taken here. We have the next terminal operational, so while I'm just sorting out here the baggage reclaim area, making that a little bit nicer, because now we will actually have people using this part as well, I think it is time to end today's video. If you have enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.